Welcome one, welcome all to Pit Road Productions. One final time for this season in the Podium 1 GT3 Fixed Series. It's the 10th and final round of the championship. We've got a champion to decide in the gold class, and there's still positions behind P1 and silver and bronze to sort out for sure here at the legendary Sebring International Raceway. We're going to bring it all to you live here today, so get comfortable and tune in. Myself, Reese Gardner, alongside me, Daniel Zippy Salmon in the commentary box, and also producing behind the scenes, Zippy. We're going to bring the championship to a close here, a very hotly contested one, Zippy. We've got a few different scenarios to think about.
Oh, there's definitely going to be some battles still happening on in this final round. And what better venue to do it at, Reese? Sebring, the track of sunset, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful track. Definitely a bit of a concrete runoff as well. Certainly, it's going to be an absolute belter. Personally, one of my favorites, actually one where I can remember one particular race. I ended up, I've been in a series. I raced a guy, and it turns out he's been a friend ever since. I actually bought a car from the guy, Anton Takash. If you're watching this, I'll be impressed. But yeah, bigger to you on that one, buddy. But certainly, yeah, good fun memories here at Sebring. Certainly, I have a feeling a few drivers are indeed going to have that scenario as well. It's going to be absolutely incredible championship battle we've got to look forward to this evening, as you're saying. And not only that, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but I am 100% getting excited for the next season. We're going to have 3 different classes all going on in one evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to be starting with TCRs, sharing the track with some GT4s before heading to a GT3 main feature. Absolutely phenomenal league. I'm looking forward to it very much. There's going to be not only that, I do wish I had the picture handy, but there's going to be some absolutely gorgeous trophies for this league, certainly probably for the next season as well, and some really cool prizes. Ladies and gentlemen, these guys have got some custom-made gloves going on as well, but the trophies, honestly, they're absolutely fantastic, and you can't buy these. You can't buy the gloves. This is, if you want it, you have to be successful.
Exactly. Big news coming out from Podium 1 over the last week or so, and we can't wait to bring you the new era starting in January, but we still have one more round to sort out, Zippy, and what a schedule this championship has had. Long Beach starting things off, no points, with Road America playing host to the first round, Laguna Seca, Autodromo Internacional, Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, Sonoma Raceway, Road Atlanta, Daytona, VIR, Montreal, Indianapolis, and finally here at Sebring to end off the season. An all North American venue split here in this series, and we end it here in Florida at one of the most brutal circuits I know of for bumps. Sebring has been around since the 1950s, and it is a former U.S. Army Air Force base. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how the cars handle the bumps here. The suspension is going to get a big workout. It is fixed setup as well, so there's not much you can do to change your car's behavior over those bumps. You just got to drive to the circuit in front of you.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good test for a lot of these drivers. And myself, I've always been a big advocate for having fixed setup racing, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get me wrong, it's like GT3. It can cause some cars to be particularly potent at some tracks, but overall, throughout a season, it does tend to even out. But before we get too excited, Reese, what do you want to do first? Championship points, or indeed, a huge shout out to our wonderful league sponsors?
I reckon. We've only got a minute left in qualifying and 5 minutes in the warm-up. Let's thank the sponsors first, because they are the ones responsible for bringing us this incredible championship finale. First off, at VPG Sim, they don't just build equipment, they translate years of motorsport expertise from BF1 systems directly into your hands. Their products are engineered using knowledge driven by professional drivers, the ones who push the limits. It's about that weight, that feedback, that raw, uncompromising connection to the machine. It's from track to sim. VPG are bringing the authentic race feel home.
Ladies and gentlemen, crafted in Wisconsin, Car Bliss offers a line of premium canned cocktails designed for drinkers who refuse to compromise on flavor or fitness goals. I think of my girlfriend every time I read this ad, ladies and gentlemen. These ready-to-drink options featuring vodka, rum, and tequila bases for classic drinks like margaritas and mojitos are built on a simple promise: bold flavor with zero compromises. Every 12-ounce can is zero sugar, zero carbs, gluten-free, and just 100 calories. Ladies and gentlemen, Carbless, if you'd like to send me a pack of those, I will happily, myself and probably the girlfriend as well, give them a thorough test. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to have a drink with a little bit of fitness goal in mind as well, Carbless.
Gotta wonder if they ship to Australia as well. Firm Sepalé, owned by league racer Simon Cartier and his brothers Martin and Serge, made a strategic shift to exclusively breeding purebred Holstein cattle. This decision was aimed at improving the genetics of their then 60-head Sepalé herd. The strategy has proven highly successful and continues to yield excellent results for their young herd today. Finally, Zippy, last but not least.
Well, it's going to be my favorite sponsor, and understandably, it's a title sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, Podium 1 Racing is a Nashville, Tennessee-based builder of turnkey racing and flight simulator systems. They offer premium, ready-to-use rigs that integrate high-end components such as Fanatec, Azazac, cubic motion systems to meet the needs of serious races and professional training environments. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, this is something that's often overlooked. Like, buying gear is one thing, that's one part of it, and I can tell you from first-hand experience, and Reese, I'm sure you've heard me whine about this enough, getting the rig set up how you want it is an art form, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of time, a lot of experience, and a lot of energy goes into making that. Having all the gear is one thing. It's a bit like a car, ladies and gentlemen. You can go out and put coilovers on a car, and it is not necessarily going to make it handle better. You need to get it set up by the professional people. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want that turnkey package, Podium 1 are the people you need to speak to.
Absolutely, and a huge thanks to CJ and the whole crew at Podium 1, not only for putting this series on, but bringing us on to broadcast it here at Pit Road Productions. It's been a fantastic journey, and looking forward to the next stage of our journey together next season. We've got championship to think about, Zippy. Qualifying is over, and looks like everybody has been assigned their relevant places on the grid. No one else setting another lap time. So I think that's going to sort things out for a couple of bonus points that we'll have to think about when we look at these championship standings. First of all, I reckon we should take a look at the gold one, because Joshua Wilford is the one in the lead, but it's only by, wow, what a tie. A 14-way tie at the end of the season, Zippy. That's incredible. Yeah. No, that's not how the championship standings actually look. Basically, it's all good. It's all good. I'll explain. Joshua Wilford is leading the championship by 9 points over Miguel Colon coming into this round. And that's the difference between winning and finishing off the podium, essentially, when it comes to the championship points format of this series. We've also got to think about the fact that Wilford has qualified second and Cologne has qualified third. That's going to be 3 bonus points for Wilford and 2 bonus points for Cologne, adding on to the championship standings. So essentially what needs to happen now is, with a 10-point championship gap, if Wilford wins, Cologne, well, if Wilford wins, Cologne has lost the championship. And if Cologne wins...
There we go.
There we go.
All right.
Cool. There we go. Finally, 9-point gap coming into this round. We can increase that gap to 10 with the extra points for Wilford and Cologne coming out of qualifying. So, championship scenario. If Cologne wins the race, Wilford needs to finish on the podium to still win the championship. And if Cologne finishes in second, Wilford needs to finish 4th or higher, and so on and so forth. We'll update you on those various scenarios. But yeah, it's really come down to the wire in gold, hasn't it, Zippy?
Oh, 100%. My apologies there. I'd managed to hit a button while setting up the points, ladies and gentlemen. But ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look here at silver. And I gotta say, I gotta make this a little bit bigger so I can read it. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get older. It's not fun. But you can see there, Reed Lincoln. I gotta say, he's really been in the social media game. I tend to find out that we're doing a show tonight before I remember I'm doing a show tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, he is absolutely on point with that, and it's looking pretty good for him for championship contentions. But let's have a look at second. Just 4 points before qualifying went down between Pierce Fox and Jamil Gummer. And not only that, Matt Hollinger getting in there as well, as is Kevin Rosario, before we got a bit back there before Ben Malik. I gotta say, that really could go any direction there. Pierce Fox, certainly, if I have a look here at qualifying right now, I can't see it. It's warm up. Damn it. I guess I'm in for a surprise as well. But I mean, look at that. There is 4 drivers in contention and only 2 spots left on the podium, assuming Reed Legan can hold on. I have a feeling we're going to have a very, very interesting race in the silver class today.
Oh, we certainly are, especially considering that Ben Mielik has poled it with Gummer in second and Fox in third, and they are all in the overall top 10. So there's going to be some really interesting point scenarios to think about there. Finally, bronze. It's been an interesting bronze championship because it seems that no one's been able to catch Jack Minter. He's been head and shoulders above everyone else at enough races this season that he has a almost unassailable championship lead at this point. And I would think that since none of the bronze drivers have really been in contention for the overall win, I don't think that's going to change. Remember, points in this championship are awarded on overall finishing position. They are not split by class. So Jack Minter is going to be well ahead of Tommy Polte and Justin Warren, but they've only got 2 points in between them. Dustin Warren, my apologies. So yeah, once again, we're going to be keeping a close eye on that for second place in the championship. Only 2 points between CJ Conklin, owner of the series, and Philip Crane there as well for 4th in bronze. So plenty of battles to be looking at here.
Yeah, I do wonder if Andrew Garreau could maybe get into the action as well. I've got to say, we've got a few drivers with cameras rocking today. You may see them appear a little bit later. Ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye out for these drivers. Cairo Enns, Jason Hatcher, CJ Conklin, Andrew Garreau, and indeed Ben Mellick, who are all going to be making an appearance during the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. So, by all means, it's one of the newer features we offer here on Pit Road Productions. And not only that, if you'd like to get us broadcasting your league, by all means, give us a shout, reach out to us, leave a comment on YouTube, reach us through Discord, ladies and gentlemen, whichever way you see fit. But one thing is for sure, make sure you hit that subscribe button and follow for more.
Absolutely. We still have a few broadcasts left before the Christmas period officially starts, and we're going to certainly be bringing those to you. Well, warm-up is about to end as the sun gets lower in the sky here at Sebring. We have drivers getting their race moves in, practicing pit entry. That's going to be incredibly important here at Sebring. Pit entry right there, off to the right out of Sunset Bend. And I think these drivers are demonstrating as well there's going to be plenty of slipstream available here down the long straights.
You see there, Ben Malik there doing a little bit of an outlap. He's got about 10 seconds left to warm up, I believe. Good chance to feature him there. And I got to say, it looks like a very American set of gloves there, ladies and gentlemen. I got to say, can't fault him for that. Yeah, beautiful. Loving the flag on there. But don't get me wrong, he wins. I'm not quite sure how they're distributing the gloves, but certainly they are honestly absolutely stunning. I got to say, huge shout out as well, especially to Darwin Hansen, because that man has been absolutely. I see there, Ben having a little bit of a giggle as the second comes to an end. But I got to say, Darwin has been an absolute legend in making some beautiful promotional materials and indeed getting the work done for next season. Like, this guy is working hard, and he's not even going to get to race next season. Ladies and gentlemen, they are going to have live race control. There's going to be software involved, but Darwin as well is going to be administering that as well. So fair play to him. He's kind of taking it for the team on that one. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot more fun to race than it is to organise. So fair play to the guy, and looking forward to what next season brings. Having live race control, ladies and gentlemen, not too often we get a series rock in there.
No, certainly not. The next season is going to be fantastic, and you will see it right here on Pit Road Productions. What you're going to see now, for the moment, is the grid. Artis Veldra, champion of last season's GT3 Series, is going to start on pole position ahead of championship leader Joshua Wilford. Miguel Colon, the closest rival to Wilford, starts in third alongside Chris Crone, with Dalton Oxborough rounding out the top 5, and Ben Mellick taking pole in the silver class. Jamil Gummer just behind him in 7th, with Cairo Enns joining Gummer on the 4th row. Pierce Fox and Kevin Rosario round out the top 10. Very impressive performance from the Silvers.
Yeah, I got to admit, really seeing a good mix of the gold and silver class. And I got to say, Kevin Rosario, probably my favorite driver for aggression here in this series. I'm interested to see what he can do from P10. But right there in P11, it's going to be Brian Zinn with Reed Lincoln alongside in P12. Having a look a little bit further down, Darwin Hanson, the man himself, the one and only, is there in 13th with Amrit Vestrala in 14th. But then, ladies and gentlemen, an absolute onslaught there as silver drivers, as Matt Hollinger takes 15th with Cody Hager in 16th. Richard Thurston in 17th with Chris Massetti in 18th. Quinn Manders, where's his cheerleading section? He's absolutely hilarious. Gentleman pops in and cheers in for Quinn Manders. He's there with Jason Hatcher and one of your camera drivers rounding out your top 20.
Michael Pacheco in the McLaren lines up 21st alongside Dustin Warren from the bronze class. Pole position in bronze there for Dustin. And then we have John Hamrick starting alongside Matt Jones on road number 12. It's going to be Jack Minter, bronze championship leader, out of 25th place with CJ Conklin alongside Andrew Garov and Brent Souza on row number 14. And then we have Mr. Crane starting outside there. Philip Crane and Callan Christian rounding out the top 30 as there's been drama on the formation lap. One of the BMWs coming a cropper there out of Big Bend. I think that's Veldra the pole sitter.
It is. That's definitely not the line he wanted there. Maybe got a little bit too carried away cleaning up the tyres. But anyway, we shall carry on. In 31st, we've got Sean Phillips and Tommy Poulter there in 32nd. Scott Laurenti is going to be there in 33rd with Drew Martin alongside in 34th. Simon Carter will take 35th. That's Surplay, ladies and gentlemen, with 36th of Joshua Travis. And indeed, we've got even more ladies and gentlemen making our way down to the back of the grid. 37 is going to be Richard Petit with Colin Hopkins, the gold class driver. I don't know what he's doing back there with James Matney in 39th. And Chris Schussler, I've got to say, fair play to the guy. He keeps coming back, rounding out your 40-car grid.
All right, here we go then. So, Artis Veldra has made his way back to the front of the running order, but you can see he's really aggressively warming his tires here. He overstepped and ended up losing the car while trying to warm the tires up through Big Bend. That's why we saw him spun in the grass. So already a bit of an adventure. He would have gotten a couple of off tracks from that, potentially a loss of control. So that's some bonus points gone there for him. There are bonus points for incidents as well in this championship. If you get 0 incidents over the course of a race, that's 4 extra championship points. 1 incident, 3 extra championship points. Same for 2 incidents. 3, 4, 5, and 6 incidents, you get 2 championship points extra. And if you get anywhere from 7 to 11 incidents, it's 1 extra championship point. So another little number to think about in terms of this fight, but for the moment, if the race were to finish as soon as the green flag flies with Wilford ahead of Cologne, Joshua Wilford would be champion. But there's plenty of racing here to come. 40 minutes with a pit stop. So the drivers have to be on their A game the whole time here. Wilford and Veldra, who battled hard at the end of last season as Veldra dominated the championship, will take the front row here. But the Mercedes of Miguel Colon in 3rd place is going to be what Wilford is really worried about as they find their way out of Sunset Bend and towards the green flag. Who gets the best jump here at the start of the 40 minutes? It's going to be a very even start between Veldra and Wilford for the start of the race. And Veldra already sticking all the way to the inside there as Cologne almost runs into the back of him. Coming into turn 1, Wilford taking the lead round the outside of turn 1 as we've already got a black flag in the hands of Kevin Rosario. Potentially a bit too many positions gained off the start there, but a practically perfect start for Joshua Wilford. He is leading the race in the round where he needs to get the championship.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened with Rosario. I was taking a look during the qualifying, the warm-up lap, and he picked up the black flag during that. I'm not sure why, but honestly, Reese, if you could type in the iRacing chat and see if they could clear that, I think it would be better for the likes of the competition there. As you see, Pierce Fox now trying to make a move up on the inside. Ladies and gentlemen, himself, Ben Malek and Jamil Gummer, we have a fight for the silver class, all happening from P6 down to P9.
Indeed, it looks like that black flag was assigned by an admin, so I think that's for an actual penalty there for Kevin Rosario. And even if it wasn't, I certainly wouldn't mess with it. I'm just a commentator, so we will see how that works out then for Kevin Rosario as the drivers find their way to Tower Turn. Pierce Fox here trying to hold off Brian Zinn as Kevin Rosario's behind, spin behind. It looks like that's Thurston and Ends that have gone around.
Well, I have just found exactly why Kevin Rosario has got that penalty, but that is definitely not the result that Cairo Ends was looking for. We did have his dad, Jake Ends, here in the chat. It's fair to say that Aston Martin taking to the grass. And oh my gosh, look what is happening in the background. Oh my. Look at the front end of Philip Crane's car and the back end. He really has been beaten hard and put into the ditch there. We're going to have to try and take a look at that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's super heavy damage, and one of the McLarens losing a front bumper there, evidently, on the way into Gendebien. So, a bit of a chaotic first lap here. We'll have Jack Minter there also falling down the order at the start. That's far from ideal for our Bronze Championship leader. Of course, even with something like this happening, he's not in much danger for the Bronze Championship. We'll see Michael Pacheco be the McLaren that unfortunately lost his bumper there. And, oh dear. Right, so I think that is... I'm not sure who that was necessarily that made the move there, but that is what cost Pacheco his bumper in the end. It held on around the course of the first lap, but there's only so much it can hold on for. A very chaotic start indeed, and we already have cars in the pits. Rosario, Minter, Crane, Christian, and Martin. So far from ideal at the very start of this race, but things are going pretty swimmingly for Joshua Wilford, who leads from Artis Veldra and Miguel Colon. Amrit Vestrala we take a look at, battling for the last position in the top 10 with Darwin Hansen.
Yeah, it's only Darwin. If you didn't know as well, he paints helmets. And I'm going to say that, holy shit, this guy's good. Like, it's absolutely incredible artwork. Like, I have the artistic talents of a very long-deceased goldfish, and that man, you should see what he can do with a helmet. He actually painted one of the owners of Podium 1, Steve Palladino. He painted his helmet, I believe, and it's nothing short of a masterpiece. Ladies and gentlemen, you should honestly check out his work. Don't get me wrong, I don't know what his company's called, I do apologise, but it's fair to say the man is artistically talented and seems to be doing pretty good behind the wheel of that AMG right now. He's up 2 positions so far, but right now, Pierce Fox and Ben Mellick are going to be getting into it here. I'd say that Mellick's ahead. Pierce Fox got Brian Zinn right on his rear bumpers. What a dive there from Zinn. Absolutely no holds barred as he makes his way round Sunset to get ahead and move up into P8.
That's the entry to Sunset Bend for you. It's a kink that you break through on the way into the corner under the bridge, and you can very easily dive up the inside. Same at turn 1. Brian Zinn still under lots of pressure from Pierce Fox here, who is certainly looking to improve his standing in the championship. Fox is currently, well, coming into this round, he was 51 points behind Reed Lincoln, and considering where Reed Lincoln is at the moment, 13th, well, 8th versus 13th. I'll have a look at the difference in points there. Looks to me like only about 14 points, so he needs Lincoln to be doing a lot worse at the moment.
Yeah, right now, Amrit Vestrala, what an absolutely fantastic exit there. Putting the hammer down in the hammer that is indeed the AMG GT3. As you can see there, side by side, ladies and gentlemen, these guys are leaving not even an inch of space right now as they head down towards the right hand. And it looks like Pierce Fox is going to be there on the inside. Vestrala trying to fight back. It's going to be a little bit of over-under, potentially no, not quite able to get it done. Vestrala, though, applying all of the pressure, and the whole time he does, Darwin Hansen and indeed Matt Hollinger are very much in pursuit, as is Reed Lincoln, just 9/10 of a second behind.
Oh, this is certainly looking interesting now in this fight. Reed Lincoln now holding off Brissetti. Let's see what Brissetti can do in that BMW to catch up to the Mercedes. We're still in the very early stages of this race, so it's not just a case of trying to get your fuel numbers right and figuring out when you're going to come into the pits, as that's Dalton Oxborough that's gone off coming out of Le Mans curve, and that's a very odd spot to be coming back onto the circuit. There might have been contact there, but I can't be sure. Oxborough was running fourth at the time of the incident, and it looks like he did it all on his own, rolled back across the circuit to get off the racing line. Fortunately, he had space to do that, but looks like he just caught the curb coming out of the Le Mans corner onto the Ullman straight, and he's immediately coming to the pits for damage repair.
Yeah, it's definitely not a shame that he was looking for, but right now, Amrit Pastrana, that's contact!
Oh, no!
Pastrana goes into the side there of Piers Fox, and that is absolutely catastrophic for his championship results. He goes to bring it back on the track. He's definitely got damage to the rear wing of that BMW. Many corners taking a little bit of a hit there. The rear bumper bouncing, ricocheting off the asphalt there. That is not going to be good for his championship contention, as right now Colin Hopkins makes his way by as well.
Yeah, oh dear, Piers Fox will be absolutely livid with that, as Richard Thurston having to take to the grass to get by him. And, well, he'll get an off track for that at least. That's going to open up the opportunity for the Mercedes there as Pacheco gets a big hit from behind on his way in.
No.
Oh dear, and round goes Piers Fox again. This has been a torrid lap for Piers Fox. It seems like everyone's gunning for him here.
Yeah, that's definitely not the way he wants to start this race, but right now you see their championship contender in the silver class, Reed Lincoln, is very much going to capitalize on that. He's currently there in P11. He's up one position overall. Matt Hollinger just ahead by 0.5 of a second in that number 76, 911 GT3 with Amrit Pastrana mix it in there with the silver class drivers. Darwin Hansen just ahead as well. He's looking pretty good right now. Speed Design, say, gentlemen, thank you to Suda in the chat for pointing that out, but Jake Enzo making a very valid point. If the racing is hot now, how will the final few laps go? I'm not sure, Jake, but I can tell you I sure as hell going to be here for it. Yeah, me too, especially for the race lead and the Ultimate Gold Championship lead. We'll check in with that briefly. Artis Veldra running second with Miguel Colon trying his best to gear something up here versus the BMW. Colon has the fastest lap of the race so far on a 158.6. And at the moment, he's running about a 1/10 of a second faster than Artis Veldra every single lap. But he can see Joshua Wilford streaking away, just chipping out a gap a couple of tenths at a time. So it's going to be hard for Cologne to win the championship from here. Piers Fox crabbing like mad down the Ullman Straight, but he is going to make it back to the pits, mercifully. This has been a terrible lap for Piers Fox, and I think he'll be very glad to reach that sanctuary. Yeah, definitely. It's a safe zone in the pits, ladies and gentlemen. Fair play. It's not over for his championship contentions yet. There's a lot that can happen in 40 minutes. There's still 31 of it left to go, ladies and gentlemen, but definitely not the race start he was looking for. Far from it. Nice, yeah, certainly. A bit of context for Kevin Rosario, because he did get a black flag on the first lap of the race. It was for an incident at the previous round, and it was his third penalty of the season, which granted him a first lap drive-through and 30-second hold. So that's the reason why Kevin Rosario got penalised. Of course, a very competent race control team here at Podium 1. Darwin Hansen leading the battle for 8th here. Amrit Pastrana, who seems to have come off all right from his contact with Brian Zinn, pressuring him from behind. And Jamil Gummer and Ben Mellick are fighting over the silver race lead here, battling over 5th in this fight of the Mustangs. Now, they need to think about the silver championship here. I'm keeping an eye out here. Reed Lincoln, again, 51 points ahead of Piers Fox, but ahead of Jamil Gummer and Ben Mellick. Well, Gummer has 324 points, so that's 55 points behind Lincoln. Ben Mellick, 273 points, nearly 100 points behind Lincoln. So Mellick doesn't have a chance to gain the championship lead from here unless they end up finishing on the podium and Reed Lincoln ends up retiring from the race. But
Jamil Gummer has a slightly better chance here, at least to overtake Pierce Fox in the championship.
Yeah, certainly these two guys are definitely, they're going to be fighting with everything they've got. And I have a feeling that Ben Mellick may have a camera on his head, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me there. Definitely cool. I do know the guy streams, and fair play to him, as it looks like Real Street being his motto, ladies and gentlemen. He's rocking a t-shirt with it as well. Good job on the merch there, sir. But I gotta say, right now, Jamil Gummer definitely not getting any break there. This is indeed the battle for leading the, well, albeit not the championship, but leading the silver class right now.
Indeed. And it seems like they're more than happy to continue with their runs here. As we'll keep our eyes peeled for anything else to happen here. Amrit Vestrala, not Brian Zinn, Pierce Fox was the driver that Vestrala made contact with, and his next target is going to be Darwin Hansen. Rumours given through Jean de Bien. This is going to bring Matt Hollinger, Reed Lincoln, and Chris Bracetti right into the fight here for 8th.
Yeah, I got a feeling this is about to get really, really expensive, ladies and gentlemen. Thankfully, iRacing does not charge for the damage here. We're going to see potentially 3 wide round sunset. Oh my gosh, please do it. I would love to see 4 wide round sunset. Hollinger there, thinking about going on the grass, goes towards the inside there. Hansen's on the outside. I think he's going to be going more for survival than an outright fight. Don't get me wrong, this is a battle for the silver with 1 gold mixed in. 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 6th, all in silver class, all getting in the mix of this bag.
Oh boy, Vestrala's going to drag them all down the front straight as everyone tries to find a way around Darwin Hansen, who goes up the inside of Matt Hollinger, and that's a lot of overspeed at the apex of turn 1 for Reed Lincoln. I haven't heard you yell like that before, Zippy, and I almost did the same thing. Reed Lincoln has a championship lead to think about. He leads the silver class, and by quite some margin. He needs to have an uneventful race to take that championship and start, but it looks like that's not happening.
Yeah, definitely if you want a peace and quiet, go watch golf, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to get it here. Pit Road Productions, indeed, the Podium on GT3 Fixed Championship is absolutely on fire right now. And don't get me wrong, we've got no intention of putting it out anytime soon. You see Quinn Manders there lurking in the background. I've got to say, cool paint there from Quinn. But right now, Brian Zinn, he's in a little bit clearer. Amrit Vestrala, though, has not been able to pull away from this pack. He's got Darwin Hansen very much in tow. Matt Hollinger, Chris Bracetti, and Reed Lincoln all trying to make their way up into P8 overall.
Indeed. So this battle's going to continue all the way until the pit cycle, I think, considering how active this pack is. Need to keep an eye out for the Porsche behind as well. That's Quinn Manders in the background, and he is the first of many cars, all the way down to CJ Conklin in 24th, who are effectively all on their own on the racetrack. On my timing, cars only show up as being in a battle if they are within a second of each other, and CJ Conklin more than a second ahead of that battle between Joshua Travis and the recovering Dalton Oxborough. And yeah, basically everyone up to Quinn Manders separated by more than a second, so not much in the way of fighting going on at the moment. All these drivers are just focusing on their pace and on their rhythm, thinking about what the pit cycle is going to bring, and we are not too far away from that. We are only 5 minutes away from the halfway point of this race. Once again, this championship's broadcast just fly by, Zippy. I can't believe we're nearly halfway. We certainly won't have that problem next season.
I got a feeling I'm going to have to start doing bonus races after championship ends. Like, I think we're going to have to start doing something recent. Certainly, maybe do one that's not broadcast so we can go out and play as well. Dalton looked like he went in a little bit hot there. He's already been in once for some damage. Can he go and recover there? The Speed Designs man himself is getting incredibly hot behind. Wait a minute, that's the wrong Darwin. I do apologise. That's Dalton. There's a Dalton and a Darwin. It's only taken me 10 rounds to realise it, but I'm getting them confused the whole time. Ladies and gentlemen, Dalton Oxborough, teammate there to Joshua Wilford, who's currently out leading your race by about 2.3 seconds as it stands. Looking to try and find his way past the Porsche there of Joshua Travis.
And he gets the move done very nicely at turn 3. That's one of the less clear overtaking opportunities around here, but you can certainly make it work. Drew Martin here up ahead of Crane and Minter, and of course Philip Crane. Last time we saw him, he had practically no bodywork on his car. These guys are all trying to find their way back up the field after problems in the opening laps. For Drew Martin, It was quite a difficult start for Crane. He got absolutely ping-ponged around on the first lap, and Jack Minter, well, he has certainly been having some difficulties as well. Shouldn't affect his championship lead, though, too much. Oxborough, for his efforts, has managed to get by CJ Conklin as well, the man from Podium 1 himself in the Ferrari. Meanwhile, this fight is starting to really ramp up. This is for 16th. Matney, Garov, Haygood, and Cairo Ends in the Aston Martin jetting up behind them. This is getting interesting. One of these cars is a lapped car, so we do need to be careful how we negotiate all of this. And it would appear the lapped car is making some good room there. Meanwhile, Garov comes into the pit lane.
That's probably not a bad idea. All things considered, that is definitely not a bad idea. Bring it down pit road. As Cairo Ends, got to say fair play to him. He's been looking to do a recovery drive. He got caught up in some incidents earlier on. And right now, as Jake Ends is pointing out, he has indeed recovered, cleared all of the bronze drivers, and now made his way up to P18 overall. And he's got the silver class driver, Cody Haygood, right ahead of him by about 0.6 of a second. Now, looking at the last lap there, he's clearing these guys by about 2 seconds a lap. So fair play to him. If he can keep it going, he can indeed make a recovery. And something's gone round in the background. I believe that might have been John Hamrick.
Yes, Hamrick, the who was the lapped car in the middle of that battle. Good on him for making room. And emerging in the background there, I believe that might have been Michael Pacheco in the McLaren, who still has no front bumper affixed to his car. I mean, good on him for trying to keep it going as best he can. Dustin Warren, meanwhile, the next driver to come up on CJ Conklin, who I think after that pass was made is a little bit off rhythm. So Dustin Warren is going to duly move up the inside of the hairpin and get the power down nice and smooth. Move past the Ferrari, demote our league owner down to 25th position. There's battling going on everywhere you look, as it looks like Chris Brissetti might have had a problem. I see him falling down the order now outside the top 10. He was with this fight with Vestrala, Hansen, and Hollinger. Looks like Reed Lincoln has dropped off the back of it, but unfortunately for Chris Brissetti, potentially a network issue?
I think so. I've lost him.
Yeah, he's disappeared. So
damn.
That's a big blow for Chris Brissetti at the final round of this championship. He's confirmed his connection has dropped. So that's commiserations to the driver of the number 23. He will take no further part, at least for a few laps. But Matt Hollinger has got a great battle ahead of him here. Darwin Hansen not leaving Amrit Vestrala alone.
Yeah, definitely not, but look right behind him. It's Reed Lincoln by about 1.5 seconds. Don't get me wrong, he's pretty much got this championship secured as long as he can stay close to his competition. But don't be misled, though. He still has the opportunity to make it a little bit more secure. As you see there ahead of him, Amrit Vestrala has not been able to break away from Darwin Hansen, and Matt Hollinger pretty much staying right up tucked behind the rear wing. I have a feeling Hollinger's going to be going for the more strategic pass, potentially, ladies and gentlemen. He may try to make that pass through pitch strategy, saving a little bit of fuel during the race.
Indeed, we are past the halfway point now, or actually no, we're about 45 seconds away from the halfway point, which is around the time where we see most drivers come into the pit lane. Looks like CJ Conklin is going to be the next driver into the pits. The field is full of drivers who have pitted early for damage. The top 20 cars have not come into the pits yet. So there's going to be a full-on battle of strategy between all of these guys. Pierce Fox there moving past CJ Conklin. Pit stop complete, 31st place on the way out, and CJ will gain plenty of those positions back as people pit ahead of him.
Yeah, I'm curious to see just how badly through the order Pierce Fox is going to fall down. Don't get me wrong, it is not the race start he was looking for, but fair play to the guy. He has indeed kept it going, and I do wish him the best of luck. Don't get me wrong, he has a mammoth of a challenge ahead of him, but we are halfway through. A lot can happen, and don't get me wrong, that looks like a battle happening just ahead of him, actually. I have a feeling the way it's worked out, I think that was Hollinger ahead, but don't quote me on it.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. So, 19 minutes and 30 seconds remain. And now Pierce Fox down in 30th place. Well, he's got a couple of seconds to that battle ahead of him. These drivers up the back not seeing much fighting at the moment. Joshua Travis just made his stop a lap and a half ago, and Cairo Enns has made his way back up to 15th in the end. James Matney is right there with him, and Michael Pacheco not too far behind either. Looks like about 7 seconds or so that Pacheco has. Cairo Enns, he is known for driving at the very limit and nothing else, and he's certainly pushing it hard here around Sebring, catching some grass, leaving the opportunity open for Matney to make a pass at the hairpin, but Enns is going to stay ahead. Inside line, first to the apex, back on the way out. Enns has great pace, but unfortunately hasn't been able to make much use of it this season.
Yeah, he is definitely pushing hard. Like, looking at it right now, he's actually one of the quickest guys on the track. He's in the 59s, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get me wrong, he's not the quickest, but he's certainly putting in a pretty potent punch there. Just going off the lap times around him, he should indeed be able to make his way, continuing up through the grid. Potentially make his way, I'm going to say, into the top 10 by the end of this race if he can keep things going, presuming he doesn't have to make another pit stop.
Yes, indeed. So, how long ago did Enns pit? About 10 laps ago, which is basically the start of the race, thereabouts, with a lap time of around 2 minutes. So, potentially, Enns will have to pit again. This is the battle for second again. Meanwhile, Artis Veldra has been holding off Miguel Colon admirably as Joshua Wilford has drawn his lead over these guys out to about 2.5 seconds or so. Varies, of course, a little lap to lap. But Miguel Colon, fastest car on track last time by. Matt Hollinger, Reed Lincoln, and Quinn Manders come into the pit lane. This is the fight here for third place in silver, and it's going to potentially be decided here on pit road. Now, pit stop times looking to be around 10 to 15 seconds, and it's 15 seconds exactly for Hollinger. They'll come out ahead of Lincoln, who has a 16-second stop, and Quinn Manders has a pit stop in the low 15s. They are going to move out behind Dalton Oxborough, who has already come into the pits, but again, 8 laps ago, to repair damage, so unclear whether or not he's going to make it back to pit lane there. Scott, okay, close quarters there through turns 3, 4, and 5. It's that's a sequence of this circuit that can often cause a lot of chaos, Zippy. This track can be quite narrow in places.
Oh, absolutely, Reese, and certainly fair play to the drivers there. They did indeed manage to get it done quite cleanly. Dalton Oxborough just giving a little bit of a flash, a little bit of a twinkle there because he just basically wanted to get by. But right now, Tommy Polte, he's going to have right behind him the competition of Reed Lincoln. Don't get me wrong, Polte has yet to make a pit stop, but Reed Lincoln, we know, it does indeed have incredible pace. His best lap into the 59. Tommy, sadly, a 201.2, so he's got beat by about 1.2 seconds on a good clean lap. But don't get me wrong, a quick lap is one thing, consistency is another. Right now, Polte's yet to make a pit. I have a feeling that Reed Lincoln will be able to find his way by relatively quickly soon.
Joshua Wilford has also come into the pits after encountering traffic. And Zippy, I don't know if you're going to be able to do this, but I'd like to make a replay request on board with Artis Veldra coming out of the final turn. The traffic that Wilford was encountering was Joshua Travis, and Travis pulled over at the exit of the final corner to let Wilford go, but then Veldra and Cologne came up on him, and I think probably the biggest near miss I've ever seen from Artis Veldra here. Have a look at this. Joshua Travis slows down, and what? That was almost a race-defining moment for the top 3.
Yeah, let me see if I can do that again. Hang on. That was tight.
Certainly was. You got to be very careful letting traffic pass out around here at Sebring. Look at how close this was. Veldra just opened the steering at exactly the right time.
Yeah, that's fair to say that definitely was a brown flag moment, but right now, Artis Veldra is indeed leading this race. He started on pole, had a little bit of a ballerina moment, you could say. It wasn't a princess. We don't tend to do excursions like that. We tend to be picky about where we go, but what? Oh, whoops in the background from the Mustang.
Callum Christian.
Yeah, beautiful showboating, Callum. Don't get me wrong, we would like to get you on the broadcast, but that's maybe not the way you want us to do it. But right now, I got to say, Veldra has managed to find his way back to the top of the food chain. But don't get me wrong, Miguel Colon right behind him. Miguel's been absolutely on form all season when it comes to pit strategy, and I have a feeling that's going to be exactly what he's going to need to try and not just get ahead, but leap himself into the leaders. Right there goes Artis Veldra into the pits. We'll have to see exactly where Wilford and indeed who pit with him? No, we'll have to see where Wilford's going to be on the way back round, just to see, is Veldra going to be able to stay ahead? I have a feeling Wilford may indeed make a little bit of a leapfrog maneuver through the pits. Saying that, quite a big gap in it right now.
Yes, well, Wilford's pit stop, 13.3 seconds. That's the fastest we've seen of anyone that didn't have damage. Darwin Hansen comes into the pits. Zin, Melik, Veldra, and there is Joshua Wilford there coming across the line. Artis Veldra's pit stop is complete at 14.6 seconds, and it looks to me like, yes, Wilford is going to come out ahead, but not by much. Actually, by a lot. Okay, I got the BMWs confused. Artis Veldra out there behind, that's Colin Hopkins there, who still has yet to make his way into the pits, and is now up 34 positions as a result.
I gotta say, don't get me wrong, we know he hasn't pit, but it's still pretty cool to say, oh yeah, I was up 34 positions. I mean, that's definitely that's a big wave, ladies and gentlemen, as Michael Pacheco brings it down. Finally gets a new front clip for that McLaren. Brent Sousa's there in the pits as well, making his way out pit road. Tommy Porte, he's in there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about to get extra spicy. The pit road is an absolutely beehive of activity. And you know who I've just realized is missing today? Doug Sorrentino. Ladies and gentlemen, Doug, get back here. How can you not be here for the final round? Oh,
yeah,
whoa! That was a dive.
Jeez. Yes, certainly was. It was the 33 BMW of Drew Martin, who runs a bit deep in Sunset Bend as a result, and it looks like Martin might have missed his braking point a little bit there. Either that or he got majorly spooked by that close call and allowed the Mustang back up the inside. Whew.
That was epic. Wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Fantastic stuff. Miguel Colon has come into the pit lane. So this is going to decide the battle for the top three. Maybe a slightly longer pit stop than Artis Veldra would have wanted. Jamil Gummer makes his way in from the silver class lead. And Joshua Wilford makes his way through the final corner as well. Miguel Colon's stop is almost done. Just need a few more seconds of service, and that is 11.9 seconds stop there for Miguel Colon. Once again, you said it before, he nails the pit strategy almost every time. It's not going to be enough to keep Wilford behind, though. Yeah,
but where is he going to be in relation to Artis Veldra? I did call it, ladies and gentlemen. He is absolutely cheated Veldra out of there for position. 3.2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely robbed the guy. But right now, Colin Hopkins, he was 34 positions up. Currently showing is still 30 positions up. And he's on his way out of pit lane already. He's been moving, ladies and gentlemen.
Certainly has. 13 seconds stop. That's certainly not slow. And he's managed to find his way out there in... hello. Amrit Vestrala always pushing the limits there. Where has he ended up? It's got to be just outside the top 10. Yeah. Hopkins is 12th at the moment. What an impressive run it's been.
Yeah, fair play to it as here comes Cairo Ends. He's back out of the field as well. Makes his way there in P17. He should be good to run for the last 10 minutes with Jason Hatcher just ahead. We haven't really seen too much of Jason so far this race. He's had a pretty peaceful one, which is fair play. That's sometimes one of the best races you can have going, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, certainly. I will often take an anonymous race that goes well over a race where I feature a lot on a broadcast and have a lot of crashes. That can be a big difference maker there. Jason Hatcher is now up 4 places and having a nice time for the moment. Darwin Hansen still has Amrit Vestrala and Dalton Oxborough for very close company. And this battle for 8th, I think 8th has been the position everyone's wanted to finish in so far this race. It's been the scene of some of our tightest fighting.
Yeah, well, certainly it looks like the pit strategy worked out in the favor of Darwin Hansen, and certainly he's managed to get himself ahead of Amrit Vestrala. But for how long? Certainly Amrit has been really putting in some good battles. But I've got to say, we're going to have a beautiful view here going through sunset at sunset. Ladies and gentlemen, absolutely loving the time of day here in Florida.
Indeed, 5:20 p.m. in sim time, racing in December in sim as well, which means we've got a nice cool track here, only 22 degrees Celsius, so plenty of grip available for the drivers here at the moment, and they're going to need every bit of it, because Sebring, being an old World War II airfield, is mostly concrete, and that carries with it some grip issues. Replay, Zippy? What's this? Simon Cartier in the Aston Martin of Firm Sepulé. Oh, God, that is rotten luck there. Driver in front running deep into Sunset Bend, collecting the tyre barrier, and Cartier couldn't really do much about that. He ran a bit deep himself. It was Drew Martin who made the pass, and yeah, that's just too deep.
It actually looked like he had a hardware issue going into that race. I'm not sure. Just watch his wheel a sec.
Yeah, well, that's him. That's him trying to keep the wheels straight so that he can actually slow down. If you turn while slowing down, you scrub the front tires, and you don't do a very good job slowing down. So Martin was doing everything he could beyond that point. Obviously, braking a bit earlier would have solved the issue entirely.
Yeah, fair play to him. The hardware functioning indeed on point, ladies and gentlemen. It's just, I wanted to try and give you the benefit of the doubt, but Reese wasn't having it, ladies and gentlemen. And not only that, if his hardware is from Podium, it's obviously fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, we have a battle between these three German machines. It's Darwin Hansen leading that pack. Imrit Vestrala in the middle in the AMG, but he's got the BMW, Dalton Oxford right behind him. These three guys, 2 gold, 1 silver, and the silver actually being out ahead right now. Fair play, good job, Darwin, but as we check in very quickly, as that's interesting. Oxborough pulls off to the side then. No, Vestrala pulls off to the side.
Yeah, looks like just a bad run out of Le Mans there for Amrit Vestrala, and Dalton Oxborough makes his way through nicely out of Sunset, and looks like the Mercedes has a better exit out of the final corner. Vestrala, we know for sure, is always a big fighter, and oh my goodness, that's an even worse run for Darwin Hansen down the front straight. That's brought them right back together again.
I thought for a second they were going to go free wide through turn 1, and I was very much there for it. You see a little bit of a bump, a little bit of contact there between Dalton Oxford and Amrit Vestrala, but right now Darwin Hansen, he's going to want these two drivers to keep fighting, as indeed Vestrala going up to, or trying to go up on the inside of the BMW, the number 820, very much under attack.
Yeah, this fight for 8th has been going on pretty much since the start of the race, with a lot of the same protagonists as well, but some varying fortunes in this pack. Darwin Hansen up 5 places, Amrit Vestrala up 4, Dalton Oxborough down 5 places. Oxborough on pace alone should not be back here. Unfortunately, his issues at the start of the race have compounded that, and he's going to have to race his way past Darwin Hansen here while keeping Amrit Vestrala behind.
Very much so, but we have a quick look a little bit further back, ladies and gentlemen. We have another battle going on. It's indeed between Andrew Garove and Michael Pacheco. Now, we saw Pacheco earlier, one, if not the only McLaren here in the grid today. A little bit disappointing. The McLaren used to be the car of choice for GT3. Certainly, I remember the original McLaren was definitely a little bit of Terry's chocolate orange, ladies and gentlemen. You either liked it or you didn't. A little bit of Marmite, perhaps. But right now, Andrew Garove holding that gap steady by about 4 or 5 tenths of a second.
Yeah, keeping in mind the original McLaren, the MP412C, was the first ever GT3 car to be added to the iRacing service. I remember the days when it was put into the Grand Am series with the Riley Daytona prototype. Those were the days. Well, things are very different in iRacing now. The sim is practically unrecognizable from how it was back then. Cody Haygood, meanwhile, is getting chased down by Brent Souza for 18th place.
Oh, no.
Souza's had a good run, up 9 positions, but something's happened here. Dalton Oxborough coming into Le Mans. Did he catch the grass? No, but he did get a lot of oversteer, and well, it's not the first time we've seen Oxborough with some troubles out of that corner. Oh my God, that's Lincoln. Is that Reed Lincoln? It is.
Yeah. Oh,
Silver Championship leader, and it's gotten worse. Cairo Inn's gotten into him.
What happened there?
Oh my Lord, that is...
Hang on.
Something to be said about holding your brakes.
Oh,
Reed Lincoln didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, Dalton just rolled into him. That's going to be something for the stewards for sure. And, well, Reed Lincoln has towed back to pit lane, and that means with his lead at the Silver Championship being as high as it is, he needs to actually finish this race. Otherwise, his championship might be in jeopardy. I'm going to have to do some calculations here.
Hang on, stay with it. Look, something happened there, and I think that's
he tried getting on the brakes.
Got absolutely smoked.
Yeah, Lincoln's rear right. Reed Lincoln's rear right was not connected to the ground. Massive suspension damage from the contact with Dalton Oxborough. So Lincoln obviously got on the brakes and the car snapped on him right in front of ends. Just poor timing there. And he's struggling to even get it back to pit lane. Yeah, see, every time he lifts off the power and gets on the brakes, it snaps.
Definitely, I think as much as we like Reed Lincoln, I definitely think that's one of those scenarios where you really should have towed. And a few drivers definitely. It was a colossal series of errors, I think, what happened, and it just ended up escalating into a much bigger thing. But don't get me wrong, it's the final round of the season. What can you really do about it other than post-championship points? But indeed, here on Pit Road Productions, we certainly like to see the racing settled on track. But how you can't really settle that. The car's pooch, ladies and gentlemen. So certainly, have fun with that race control. I know I'm glad I'm not part of that discussion, but right now, Amrit Pastrana, still, he's been going at it the whole time with Darwin Hanson. These two guys have been going at it incredibly well, but look a little bit further behind him. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Hollinger now getting some pressure here from Colin Hopkins.
Yes, some very interesting fighting going on here at the moment for the last position in the top 10. And, well, we see Cairo ends there. Obviously majorly disappointed in the pits. Enns did nothing wrong there. It was just a case of a damaged car ahead of him that wasn't quite in control of his machine at that point, and well, Enns came off second best out of it. But Colin Hopkins, 28 positions gained, and he is on course to be the hard charger in this race, whether or not Hollinger gets past him.
Yeah, I gotta say fair play. He's up 28 positions there, but I gotta say I do really feel for Cairo in that situation. Like, I feel like I should buy the guy a lottery ticket and already know that it's a winner or something like that. Like, he deserves a bit of good luck at this point, you know. But good news, Cairo, we are going to be putting on some fun races coming up soon through Pit Road Productions. And anybody here who features in any of the Pit Road Production shows, by all means, you will indeed be invited. We will be reaching out to your league admins to help us promote that at some point as well. Certainly, it's going to be a little bit quieter over the Christmas break, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get a little bit of R&R, but don't get me wrong, we're still going to keep things going, whether it be in the booth or whether it be on the track, ladies and gentlemen. We are not going to leave you hanging. We'll keep something going for all of you guys who want to get behind the wheel and drive.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'm keeping an eye out here. Reed Lincoln has come back out of the pits, and he's in 29th place. And considering that Jamil Gummer is running in 5th overall, that's going to give him 64 points. 29th gets 20 points. So Reed Lincoln is still safe for the Silver Championship. That is a big sigh of relief for the Mercedes driver.
Well, it looks like Dalton Oxborough has been able to re-emerge, ladies and gentlemen. This time he's got Jason Hatcher breathing down his neck. Don't get me wrong, Oxborough, oh my, the back of Dalton Oxborough's car, fair to say, it's seen better days.
Yeah, well, he's a big part of that would have been the contact that unfortunately collected Reed Lincoln. That's where that damage is from, I'm sure. Some black flags that are coming out here potentially for either incident points or not clearing speeding, a slowdown in time. Maybe. Jason Hatcher, oh yeah, potentially, but he already had that black flag before he came into pit lane. So yeah. Obviously not for speeding, but could have been compounded by it. Not sure why Joshua Travis has a black flag either. I think maybe incident limit is something worth thinking about there. Well, the timer has officially hit 0, and that off track, I think, is what gave Joshua Travis the penalty. Too many incidents. Joshua Wilford is going to come across the line here. The checkered flag is out, Zippy, and it looks like that is the checkered. Joshua Wilford wins ahead of Miguel Colon, and that is going to give Wilford in the number 82 the Gold Class Championship. Joshua Wilford has been fantastic all season. and he will take that championship in style, with Cologne really gaining on him at the end.
Yeah, fair play to him. He has worked hard all season for that, and you can see there, just parking the car up. If you were ever going to do a donut, Josh, this is the time to do it. Gold championship winner. As I have a feeling, no, I thought somebody behind him was going to do it. It's, oh, don't come into contact there. There's Jamil coming. Here we go. I think he's listening. Ladies and gentlemen, Joshua Wilford, your gold championship winner with Reese Map prevailing, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, you don't want me to do that. He's earned that. he's worked really hard for that. Fair play to the guy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was a tough championship for Joshua Wilford. Missed out on taking the title last season, but he came prepared to every single race, and just pace-wise, almost untouchable. Full credit to Miguel Colon, though, especially in the second half of the season. He was on an absolute tear, and it was great to see him close that championship gap to Joshua Wilford. You mentioned Jamil Gummer, who joined our winner there. Gummer taking the win in the silver class, winning the battle with Ben Milik, but it's not going to be enough to take the silver championship away from Reed Lincoln. Reed Lincoln, despite the big dramas at the end there, is going to be your silver class championship winner. And it looks like with a finish down in 22nd place, Jack Minter is going to do just enough to protect the bronze championship. So there you go. Those are your drivers' champions for this season.
I've got to say, absolutely fantastic stuff here. And what a absolute belter of a season. Certainly the last race definitely had a little bit more spice in it than we're used to, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we're used to a lot of spice, but certainly some moments of reflection perhaps. But we are indeed going to go over the results. Ladies and gentlemen, though, if you are watching the broadcast and you are looking for an interview, more aimed at the drivers, don't get me wrong, I'd love to speak to Jake Enns in the booth at some point. Actually, Jake, if you got Discord, you have got Discord. Does your mic work? You should come in and have a chat with us at some point. You've literally been in every Pit Road production show for at least the past season or so. You should come and give us a chat, give us your thoughts perhaps. You maybe even interview one of the drivers. I think that would be a good opportunity as well. We'll test them out, ladies and gentlemen. But certainly, Wilford, I'd love to have a chat with yourself and Reed Lincoln as well. And indeed, Jack Minter, I don't think we spoke to him all season as well. But in the meantime, while these drivers get a chance to do that, we should probably go over the results.
Yes, so winning and capping off his championship in style is Joshua Wilford, only 1.3 seconds back to Miguel Colon. Artis Veldra finishes in third place after starting from pole. Chris Krohn had a pretty smooth race, it has to be said. Finishes a lonely P4, exactly where he started. Still a fantastic drive, with Jamil Gummer making it 5th place and the silver class win, with Ben Milik battling him in the early stages. Brian Zinn finishes in 7th place, and Darwin Hansen finishes in 8th. Amrit Vestrala and Colin Hopkins round out your top 10, and what a run it was from Hopkins, starting all the way from the back, moving his way up to P10.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. 28 positions gained there. In 11th, we had Matt Hollinger with Quinn Manders. That's a good finish there. He's there in P12 with Dustin Warren, absolutely snaking his way in there in the bronze class in P13 overall. Good points haul for him. Dalton Oxford, definitely a rough day for him. He was there in 14th with Cody Hagan in 15th. Brent Souza took 16th with James Matney there in 17th. Michael Pacheco, this sole McLaren of the grid, in 18th with Pierce Fox. Definitely a little bit of a rough dude for him. In 19th with Tommy Polty. Your bronze class 2nd place, and indeed top 20.
Indeed, fantastic job there. Philip Crane finishes in 21st, and Jack Minter in 22nd. Had enough of a points margin that I don't think he has to worry for the bronze championship. Finishes about 6 seconds or so ahead of Andrew Garov. Kevin Rosario, he would have wanted a much better race than that. The silver driver finishing down in 24th, ahead of league owner CJ Conklin. Jason Hatcher, the last driver to finish on the lead lap. Simon Cartier, Callan Christian, Reed Lincoln, and Sean Phillips all a lap down, but Lincoln once again has done enough to take the silver championship title. Scott Laurenti is going to finish a lap down also. Chris Scheusler and Joshua Travis too. Cairo ends after a long tow, finishes 3 laps down in the pits, with Drew Martin, I think, having the same fate. Chris Brassetti down 9 laps. John Hamrick, Richard Thurston, and Matt Jones also retiring from the final round. Richard Pettit was in the server, but did not take to the start. Let's go to our championship winner in the gold class. Joshua Wilford is with us now. Certainly the pressure was on there, Joshua, but you would have had to have things go pretty badly to lose that one to Miguel.
Boys, I don't know what to say to you guys. I drove my heart out. I'm a little bit at a loss for words at the moment. That race was that was the championship determining race. I don't know where to even begin. I haven't had qualifying points for the past 5 rounds. Every point has mattered, and today it really came down to the wire. And it's a bit nerve-wracking watching Miguel in the faster car catch me on the straights. It's been a fierce competition the entire season, but you know what? I'm really happy that I came out on top.
Absolutely, as you should be after finishing second to Artis Veldra last season and having the run that you've had this season. It's been fantastic to see. Sebring, a very brutal circuit to say the least, and quite the place to close this championship out.
I fully agree with you. I think it was an amazing choice. The fireworks at the end it really sealed the deal. It doesn't suit the Aston Martin. I mean, the Aston is so tail happy, and it really isn't fast on the straight. So I was banking on something to happen, and I think that turn 1 move really secured it for me. And then just coasting and saving fuel and walking away from Cologne was the main objective, and I'm happy that I did it.
Yes, you managed to keep the pace up enough that you were practically unthreatened for that race lead once you managed to get past Artis Veldra. So it's going to be celebration central for you here after taking the title, and I suppose looking forward to next season as well, with some big expansion on the horizon. I would expect that you'll still be present there in your GT3.
If CJ and the guys at Podium 1 are willing to take me, I'm 100% going to be there. I'm really excited for what's to come.
As are we, Joshua. Big congratulations. Deserving championship win for you, and hopefully there's yet more to come next season.
Me too. I hope for a lot more next season.
For sure. Well, Joshua Wilford will grab a bit of bubbly, I'm sure, to celebrate his championship win, Zippy. Well, it looks like we are joined now by Jamil Gummer, who took the race win in silver.
Well, I've got to say, Jamil, definitely a tough race for you today, sir. Tell us a little bit about your strategy, what's going into this round.
Yeah, it really was just finish ahead. The championship was actually quite close in silver. A lot of us were separated. Besides first, most of us were separated by 2 or 3 points. So I knew the guys I needed to stay ahead of, and that was my goal, was just stay ahead of them. Luckily, that the plan worked out. Saved some fuel to get a gap to Ben at the end, so that was really nice as well.
I've got to say, it's been a series of up and downs for yourself. Certainly, you had incredible pace. But Jamil, looking back, what was probably your favorite round, and indeed your favorite part of this series so far?
I would say probably Road Atlanta, considering it's my home track. And VIR. Those were my 2 favorite from this season.
Well, I've got to say, Jamil, you are indeed a man after my own heart. Road Atlanta, definitely top of the Princess Approved list, and certainly VIR very close behind it. But I've got to say, a silver class win and P5 overall, that is an absolutely phenomenal result. Ladies and gentlemen, he didn't just do that in like a 10, 12 car race. He did that in a 40 car race, ladies and gentlemen. And not only that, with some of the best talent on the iRacing sim. I mean, these guys, they pack a mean punch. But Jamil, before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to shout out for today's absolutely phenomenal performance?
Yeah, I just want to shout out CJ and these guys for putting this on. I know it's been a little bit hectic for the first season and whatnot, but overall, I've run a lot of leagues, and this is definitely one of the cleaner ones. So looking forward to next season.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, a fair shout out there. Jamil Gummer, he's been in the wars, he's been in the trenches, and indeed, he has emerged victorious in the silver class this time, able to take a 3.7 second lead over Ben Malik in the closing stages here. The final round at Sebring, certainly a good championship contender as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the driver of the number 36 is Mr. Jamil Gummer.
Lovely stuff from Jamil, and a great battle it was with Ben Milik. We're going to move to Dustin Warren next, who managed to grab the bronze class win. Started outside of the top 20, Dustin, made your way through to 13th. That midfield was quite active today.
Yes, it was. It was very active, especially on lap 1 right there. A lot of wrecks, a lot of carnage, but that's typical for Sebring too.
Yeah, and certainly we've been over those points many times about the difficulties of this track and how difficult it can be to have a consistent race here. But have a consistent race you did. What do you think your biggest challenge was over the course of that 40 minutes?
Well, actually caught a little bit of damage right there on lap 1, so had the steering wheel at about a 45-degree angle going down the straight. So then had to come in, make a pit on lap 4. So then it was basically just navigating through traffic, watching people coming out of the pits. I mean, I know that's something they preach before the race as well, but that really is something that you have to be very cognizant of at this race, because those guys coming out on the right there, they'll cut back in on you, which they have to. But you have to always have your eyes and ears open on this track.
Well, you had your eyes and ears more open than some, and it's granted you the bronze class win in the final round of the season. And looking down the order, it looks like 6 cars in between yourself and PS Fox for first and second in bronze. And that's certainly going to be a big points haul in the final round of the championship. So things looking good coming into next season then, if we can expect you there too.
Yes, most definitely. Looking forward to it, and looking forward to the, as CJ described it, the career mode progression. I think it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, indeed. I'm really looking forward to seeing how next season goes. Thanks very much for joining us, Dustin. Really appreciate you being here. And I tell you what, if we're going to be seeing you and pretty much everyone we've talked to on track next season, it's going to be a fun one. See ya.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Dustin Warren there, and it looks like to close things off, Zippy, we have CJ Conklin himself from Podium 1. Unfortunately, not enough time to chat to everybody we want to chat to, but here's CJ.
Well, hello, guys.
CJ, what an absolutely incredible season it's been. Certainly, you've been a very busy man, and you do indeed have my sympathy. Don't get me wrong, you've had some fantastic support as well. Darwin has been an absolute legend as well, really getting to know the guys as well. But CJ, I mean, we're not going to talk to you from the driving point of view. Don't get me wrong, we'd love to, but, you are the man behind this league, and it's fair to say, well, the main man. Don't get me wrong, we got to recognize Darwin as well. He's been phenomenal, but this is your time, I feel, to, really thank the sponsors. Tell us about what's happening next season. Sir, the floor is indeed yours.
Oh, well, thank you very much, guys. I couldn't have done it without you guys. You made it an amazing season to watch. Exciting. I'm getting ready to get done and go watch the broadcast. But I do have to thank Darwin. Darwin has stepped in. He actually got me into sim racing. I started by myself. He kind of took me under his wings 2.5 years ago. Taught me everything I know so far. I still got a lot to learn, but he's been helpful explaining the rules and driver etiquette, all that. Next season is going to be amazing. We're going to have live stewarding where we don't have to do protests. There still will be protests for stuff that we don't deem necessary to give out a penalty on the track at that time. But our sponsors this season, Carbless, VPG, I don't even know how, Serpillet, that's how you say that. I want to thank Podium 1 also for sponsoring this league. Looking forward to next season. Hopefully get a couple more sponsors. And like you mentioned, we're going to have the career mode. I guess I'm going to go back to I'm going to drive a Hyundai next season. So
Lots of fun planned.
Well, indeed, it is going to be an absolute belter, and it looks like it's all going to be happening in one night as well. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be able to see it all here on Pit Road Productions, and I'm absolutely stoked for it. This is my idea of Candyland, ladies and gentlemen. I love like something like where we get a heat race and like that is good, but then you don't tend to get pit strategy. What Podium 1 is doing here, and what CJ and Darwin and all the guys in the crew here are doing is it's almost like a real race weekend. You've got different series. I mean, if you just want to go straight into the GT3 class, from what I understand, you can't just do that. You've almost got to work your way up there. CJ, now's maybe a good chance. Tell us a little bit about how this career mode is going to work.
Anybody can sign up. We're going to have sign-ups here in about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. I want to take my time getting this next season set up. But you can't just jump into GT3 and sign up. You can sign up, but you got to qualify. So we're going to have some open qualifying through iRacing sessions. If not, you could start at the bottom with the TCR, or you can jump into GT4. What's going to be cool about the GT4 and TCR series is going to be multi-class on the same track, 2 different cars, which I'd love. So yes, you got, if you're just going to start out, we kind of wanted to separate where we had the bronze, where it was a lot of more careful drivers trying to learn league racing, and that's what we made TCR for. GT4 is the step up. But anybody can sign up, but GT3 is held for a qualifying session.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to it. And myself, honestly, I honestly think I'd go for the TCR. Like, it's one of those cars that's a little underrepresented in the sim, and don't get me wrong, when it comes to a battle, they are absolutely phenomenal. But ladies and gentlemen, somebody who's actually sponsored by Podium 1, Suelio Almeida himself, and another show that we have here on the channel as well, he started in his IMSA career in a TCR, ladies and gentlemen. You said you're going to be driving a Hyundai. That is certainly, I know a man who you can talk to about driving one of those. His name's Suelio Almeida, and certainly if you want to go faster, check out the Almeida Academy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to plug them, absolutely. But CJ, it's been an absolute honor, and I really can't say thank you enough for having us here, having Pit Road Productions involved. And again, the people in the chat as well. Jake Ans, honestly, if I had a trophy for you, you'd win it, buddy, because you have been there pretty much every show this season, and I can't ask any more from anybody like that. That is phenomenal. We got Suter in the chat today. We got Pancho Sims making an appearance as well. A lot of fun, guys, and great job to Pit Road Productions and Podium 1. Such a great broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a team effort as well. Huge free tracks. And then we had Big Cedar Ranch making an appearance as well, albeit he said "rip" was one of his first sentences, so you can tell something colourful was going on there. But CJ, before we let you go and we bring the show to a close for the season, we're looking forward to coming back certainly in January time. We're gonna have a little bit of a Christmas break. I was saying during the show, while you guys are getting next season ready, Pit Road Productions will be putting on some fun races for you, and we're going to try and figure out the best way to make that accessible for as many people as we can. Certainly Podium 1, and indeed anybody on the Pit Road Productions broadcast will be invited to those. Don't think it's going to be something serious, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be far from it. You're going to be thinking something like a spec racer Ford doing like 3 15-minute sprint races, or like a late model stock at VIR. Certainly myself, and I think Darwin's got some ideas as well. We're going to have some fun, silly girls. If you got some ideas, put them in the comments as well. CJ, you should definitely pick around as well. But we are going to have action coming for you. It might be broadcast, it might not. We'll see just how badly myself and Reese want to drive. But CJ, before we let you go, any final thoughts, sir, to bring the series to a close?
I want to thank everybody. It was an awesome season. Everybody's great participation. I can't believe how many cars we had every race. I'll be doing a raffle giveaway, which was the participation kind of raffle. As many races is a raffle entry ticket. If you win a podium in each class, it's extra raffles. So we're giving away a Semi-Cube Sport 2 wheelbase. I'm getting excited for next season. It's going to be awesome. I do love that we're making a race weekend, and having you guys on board is going to just be phenomenal.
Oh, I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a good job that CJ is indeed on the camera. But Reese, yourself, have a quick chat here with CJ. I'm sure you've definitely had some thoughts brewing throughout the season.
Ah, well, actually, no, you've covered everything. I wasn't anticipating that. But honestly, just from me, CJ, a big thanks for putting this series together and for having us on board to bring it to the world. Honestly, the racing has been fantastic. Incredible championship fights. I can't wait to see where it goes next season with TCR in the mix as well. I do love my front-wheel drive touring cars. So, yeah, I'm hyped.
I'm excited. I'm excited. And thank you guys. We're going to make this, hopefully we'll get like a real cable channel or something. Pit Road Productions channel. That's what we're going for.
I know a guy and I've got an idea, but we'll see if we can pitch it to him first. Certainly, CJ, between myself, Reese, you, Darwin, I have a feeling we can make this really big. But ladies and gentlemen, we want to make this big. We need your help. You've got to hit that subscribe button. Every time we put up a video for Podium 1, I want to see you share the living snot out of it. I want your grandmother, your mother, your sister, your brother, even the in-laws that you don't like. Tell them to come and watch it. They can put up with me and they're going to love you even more. What can I say? We are shamelessly going to plug this thing everywhere you want. I've seen actually a couple of the guys have been, taking little clips, putting it on their Instagram and YouTube. Initially, it was a bit of a shock, but you know what? Absolutely go for it. Just make sure you tag us in that. And by all means, if anybody knows how to work Instagram, feel free to educate me because that is way over my head. I can see you smiling, CJ. Certainly, we'd love to promote this thing. But we are indeed going to bring this show to a close. And CJ, definitely a huge honor. Reese, if you'd like to do the honors for the final time this season for the Podium 1 GT3 Fixed Series.
Yeah, an incredible season. And for those of us who joined us in the broadcast chat today, thank you very much for being there. And for those of you who have been here the whole season, incredible dedication. We really appreciate your patronage. A huge thanks to Podium 1, to RAFA Racing Club as well for getting the series off the ground. And once again to CJ and the whole crew at Podium 1 for making us a part of all of this here at Pit Road Productions. An incredible final round of the championship, and congratulations once again to our championship winners in gold, Joshua Wilford, in silver, Reed Lincoln, and in bronze, Jack Minter. Let's see where they all go next season. Well, that's going to be the end of things here. I'm Reese Gardner, Daniel Zippy Salmon alongside me in the commentary box and also producing behind the scenes. We're Pit Road Productions, and we'll see you again next season. Have a good one.
Good night.